I liked it.
I could maybe get into it later, but I just think it's okay.
Maybe it's different in the Twin Towers. My only complaint was I wish the magic was a little more magical. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know. I guess I was expecting...
I know what you mean. You're like, you wish that Gandalf could do more shit than just, like, make lights and shit, right?
Yeah, like he turns the lights off, and then, like, he fights that other really powerful wizard for a little bit, who's played by Count Dooku. And then Count Dooku and him just start force pushing each other. I'm like, what are they doing? I wanted to see some, like, Harry Potter shit. I remember watching...
That's how I felt about Harry Potter. I thought Harry Potter never got to the level that I was expecting it to.
I feel that, like, when they cross their beams together, the red beam versus the green beam, I'm like, yeah, I wish they were doing something really crazy right now. But when,
Doctor Strange, probably my favorite wizard battle.
I think my favorite
wizard battles in movies.
I think my favorite wizard battles is the Harry Potter one, Prisoner of Azkaban. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Is that the one where Dumbledore makes, like, the big, huge orb of water?
Yes, the giant orb.
That part was awesome. That part was awesome. I was waiting for more shit like that.
Yeah,
that was definitely the best part of those movies.
Yeah, I wanted, like, some crazy magical... I like when, when Voldemort turns all the glass shards into projectiles, then Dumbledore turns it to sand, and then I thought that was all really cool. I wanted
that stuff is awesome.
Yeah, Gandalf being waved around by Count Dooku is not great. The only magical thing that was really cool was when Ring Vision, that, like, demon vision thing, not Bilbo. Like, when you would see the Nazguls as the dead kings in the ghost zone. I don't know, there's probably terms for all this, but I didn't remember all the terms. That was cool. The magic when that one elf made the tide turn into a bunch of horses and drowned the Nazguls downstream was really cool. I was like, yeah, I want to see Gandalf do some wild shit like that.
Have you seen the movie Last Unicorn?
No.
It's like a 70s or 80s animated movie. You would love it. Definitely watch that. But they also have a shot of hides getting turned into horses in that too, but it's all 2D animation, so it's better.
2D animation.
Yeah, that movie's awesome. It's one of those weird 70s feature film things that was just made by some fucking guy. A la Heavy Metal and Fritz the Cat. I put it in that category. Good. You would love it.
I need to rewatch Heavy Metal. That was really good.
Heavy Metal is really good. It's awesome. I watched it like 2 years ago.
I wish Cool World was like Heavy Metal, but it's not.
In what way? Like it was just better?
Yeah. I mean, like, it had a lot of... Kinda sucked. It had a lot of animation, but, like, it wasn't... It was like that scene in Fritz the Cat where we saw the silhouette of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, or like a frame. Where he was just drawing a lot of random stuff. Not to look good, but just for he was like, oh, I just want to draw about just a random shit. And none of it looked whimsical or fun like Toon World. It just looked, I don't know, it was just mayhem, utter bonkers.
Yeah, it is just kind of stuff happening. It definitely lacks the vision of some similar films.
The really hot...
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
I do think you will... I do think pretty much everyone in the world will have a better time with Space Jam than Cool World. There are definitely a few exceptions, but...
Do you think that Space Jam 2... Because I heard it's not doing very well in the box office. Do you think this is going to be another another Looney Tunes back in action scenario where it was like, oh, pretty good, but like the public didn't like it, and then Warner Brothers is like, well, I guess they don't like the Looney Tunes anymore.
Did you like Space Jam 2?
No, I didn't see it. I'm talking about...
I don't think it's pretty good.
No, like, remember Looney Tunes back in action?
Yeah, I think Looney Tunes back in action is pretty funny.
I'm scared they're gonna make
I'll
that...
rewatch that movie whenever people ask me to, because I like it.
I'm worried they're gonna make that decision again.
Do I think that Looney Tunes are gonna fade back into obscurity again? No, because I think the most recent Looney Tunes series is doing pretty well, and has gotten a lot of people have it's met a positive reception. I think it's on Amazon.
No, it's on HBO Max.
Okay.
I still need to watch that.
I've only seen like 3 episodes, and I was like, it's okay. It's pretty good. I heard that the later episodes are like insanely violent. So
no, that's great. Oh no, like they show organs and blood and stuff. Like old like that episode of Rocco's Modern Life, and that dude like lifts the dumbbell and his arms come out and all the blood comes out of his arm sockets. I was like, oh, cool, sick.
I don't remember that.
I remember that because I told you, I was like, oh, I never watched Rocco's Modern Life, and you're like, I love Rocco's Modern Life, and then that was like we clicked on like a random episode, and that was like our first. We're like, whoa, the '90s were cool. I remember it because we were like, oh, this was on Nickelodeon. How? Then again, Ren and Stimpy was on Nickelodeon.
Is it?
And they had Pete. Don't whiz on the electric fence.
Yeah, apparently I had like a DVD with like director's commentary, which pretty weird nowadays. But they said originally we were gonna call it "Don't Pee on the Electric Fence," but they said you can't say pee, you have to say whiz, and we thought whiz sounded worse, so we were more than happy to change it.
Yeah, don't whiz on the electric fence sounds so funny.
It is.
I hate when they take it out of the box and it's just a little electric fence. There's no like board game. It's just like a fucking electric fence. Why did? What a good show. Unfortunately created by a madman, but
like many good shows.
iCarly wasn't that good. That was also made by a madman.
I'm not talking about iCarly. I don't think that's a good show. I'm talking about, like, I don't know, Pulp Fiction or something.
Well, Tarantino isn't a madman.
I mean, he's like...
He's kind of a dork.
From what I hear, he is cruel to the people who work on his movies with him, and he's also, like, a huge creep, so... I don't know.
I mean, like, I don't think he's a... I've never... Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard, like, reports of him being, like, abusive. He's just the kind of guy that's like, let's do 15 takes, cuz... Despite already having the perfect shot, he's like, what if we could get something even better improvised? Ooh, I beat my high score again.
Oh, here I go. I think I found the clip.
Wait a second.
Oh yeah, there it is. His guts are falling out of his arms. There was just gore. Cool. Comments are turned off. Let's see.
Yeah,
I don't
YouTube.
know how they got away with that one. There was like meat in his arms.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was cool. Yeah, I love violent cartoons.
I think my favorite joke from Rocco's Modern Life is he's like, I like rainbows. And it's like, what the fuck?
What?
You don't remember that like really homophobic joke from Rocco's Modern Life, where he's like, I like rainbows, and then like Mr. Big and all of them are like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Rocco? They start yelling at him, like everyone in the neighborhood.
Nice.
It's really weird. Very not chill. Very not chill. Kind of surprised me when they got a reboot on Netflix. I'm like, I'm just gonna gloss over that episode. A lot of people remember it. It played on TV a lot. Oh, did you know that?
Did he not like come? Was there not like a nice clean bow on the ending? Because like, I mean, there were like a lot of social issues in that show, but usually he was like, you know.
You have to remember, like, Rocco's a sex phone operator, and there's a whole episode where Mr. Big's wife wants to have an affair with Rocco. And that was just an episode. Not even like, oh, that's like a cute little...
it's really edgy, but it was also, it's not like it was,
What I'm trying to say is that show didn't really care, I should say, to, like, be politically correct. I think it just wanted to be, you know? I don't know how to explain it other than that. It was a good show, though. What's it called? Right. I think we talked about this. Maybe so, maybe not. Or maybe it was in my head. Because I thought we talked about the Sonic dream, but apparently we didn't. Did we talk about how Nickelodeon has banned the episode where, even on like streaming platforms, they've banned the episode where Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, and Patrick go on a panty raid?
Oh, really? I mean,
so we haven't talked about this, yeah. No, they got rid of it. It's gone. You can't watch it. They say it's too...
To wrap up everything on the Rocco's Modern Life thing, I don't know. I mean, no, it wasn't politically correct, but I don't think it was like, we're just going to make a show where you're gay bashing or anything. Because, like, they had the one episode where the one guy who famously hates all clowns realizes that he's a clown, and he becomes a clown, and then he has to tell everybody he's a clown or something. You know? Also, the Netflix movie, the dude who made Big Heads, remember Big Heads? The show they love? He comes out as trans in the show.
Oh.
So, like, I don't know. I think they're not actually, yeah. I think they don't hate gay people, actually.
Well, I don't think it was like...
pretty good.
I don't think it was like the show was like I hate gays or the creator was like I hate gays. I just think they had a little risque joke, you know. It was the 90s, you know. It was different, you know. I know that's like a terrible excuse. It was wrong then, it was wrong now. But, you know, there's some dude in the writer's like, wouldn't that be funny? We made that joke toward the end of the episode. Like it was like toward the end of the episode, like it was like one of those things. I forgot this context, but like everyone in the neighborhood was fighting each other, and Rocco gave a speech about, okay, we're all different. We all have our little vices and stuff that we don't tell each other about, but you know, we're all neighbors and we should accept each other for our differences because that's what makes us unique. And then they're like, yeah, Rocco's right. And then he's like, for instance, I like rainbows. And then the joke was like they just completely were like, no, fuck tolerance and fuck you, Rocco.
Well, yeah, but that's like social commentary.
Right, but they're kind of taking a jab, you know, with the whole rainbows thing, and they didn't know what they were doing.
Well, yeah, but they were making social commentary.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as like Cow and Chicken, where they had like that biker gang called the Carpet Eaters. That was pretty bad.
That is awesome. That's so fucking funny. Oh man,
it's pretty bad.
They anyway, SpongeBob can't go on panty raids anymore. What?
So it's inappropriate.
That's terrible.
I mean, it was a weird episode, but even the episode was like, yeah, don't go on panty raids, because he ends up panty raiding his mom.
I personally, I don't condone panty raids.
It was just like it was funny because like when Patrick mentions it, it literally came out of left field.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Krabs was fed up. He's like, oh, this slumber party's boring. You guys aren't like cool. You guys don't do cool shit at night. And then he's like, well, I guess you're gonna miss the panty raid, old man. And you just don't expect Patrick to say something like that.
Yeah.
It was like
It's funny.
it was like the endless enigmas of my mind, or I forgot what the quote was, but it was one of those quotes from Patrick, and you're like, oh yeah, Patrick's a genius.
Yeah. Speaking of Patrick Star being funny, have you seen the Patrick Star show? It's out.
I have not. I saw a commercial for it at the dentist. I was like, is this real?
Yeah.
And he has like a family, even though there was that episode where like the joke was that he doesn't really have a family.
It was like a lot of things that contradicted other SpongeBob episodes to the point where it's like,
You think it's another timeline?
I mean, yeah, but why?
Well, SpongeBob's
What's
had
the
other
point?
timeline episodes before. Remember Spongehenge? That technically was in its own little timeline.
Spongehenge?
Spongehenge, the episode where SpongeBob creates a Stonehenge thing because this weird wind comes and it keeps playing through his sponge holes and it summons all these jellyfish around him and he becomes isolated and he gets fired from the Krusty Krab. None of his neighbors want to be around him. Patrick doesn't want to be around him. Sandy. And so he becomes a recluse hermit in a cave. Then he sculpts this magnum opus Stonehenge thing of himself to distract the jellyfish. And by the time he goes back to regular society, it's faded. And it was like the
episode.
Yeah, but it's like, obviously that was an Elseworld SpongeBob story, kind of like the episode where Squidward gets stuck in the past and can't come back because he's interacting with the caveman SpongeBob and Patrick, or the episode where
but like it's like this could be a continuation of the same show, but as the show goes on, then it starts to go off the rails, right? There's ones with like endings where it's kind of inconclusive, but obviously they show up next episode. I think that's different than this, where Patrick is... It seems like Patrick is like a really little kid in this, like maybe he's like 5.
Wait, doesn't he like...
parents and his, like, he plays in his bedroom with toys and stuff.
Doesn't he like wear a
He's
shirt?
got to be like 5 years old or something. He can't. He like doesn't have money or anything. He needs to like wait for his parents to make him food. So Patrick must be like 5 or something. But all the other characters still do the same stuff. Like Plankton still works at the Chum Bucket, and he's still exactly the same.
Well, he calls Mr. Krabs old man. So I'm assuming. I kind of always viewed SpongeBob and Patrick.
Mr. Krabs
I know.
Is like.
The point I was trying to make is
that. Go to an old folks' home in an episode.
Well, yeah. I mean, I figured that like there's a generational divide between SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, and Squidward. You know. So that kind of makes sense that Plankton would still be at the Chum Bucket for all those years. If this is like a prequel to SpongeBob, yeah, I think it's weird that like they think SpongeBob needed a prequel. I don't think when the guy who made
what do you mean? It needs 2 prequels.
Yeah, Camp Corral, which is I don't know.
Corral.
I haven't seen it. But...
I have. It's not very good. It looks like they didn't like render it. It looks like they exported a test and put the show out like that because none of the lighting looks done.
Well, that's what they did with Jimmy Neutron.
Is it?
According to this meme I saw. So it's like my animation teacher worked on the set of Jimmy Neutron, and they screenshot a shot where Jimmy was leaning against a locker and his hair was clipping through the locker, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we were poorly understaffed, underpaid, and had no time. We just when like mistakes like that would happen, we knew that they were there. We just ignored them."
No, that's not what I mean. I mean you know when you're rendering a 3D animation. I don't know if you know this, but when you're rendering a 3D animation, before you actually render it, you'll do the test, and your test will render in about I don't know 2 to 5 minutes. And then your actual rendering will take hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll actually do the lighting. The first test is just to see what it's kind of going to look like. It looks like they only did the first test and then just shipped it.
Yeah.
It
Can't
doesn't
go
look
wrong.
like the lighting is actually on.
Well, they're underwater. Why would there be lights?
True. That's not how light works.
They're on the bottom of the seafloor. Of course there would be no light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why SpongeBob's getting like a cinematic universe. I think it's weird. I mean,
Probably
like,
because they just don't know what else to do with it, but know that it will still make money.
I guess, but like, Nickelodeon,
I kind of, after watching the first Patrick Star show, it made me think that this was supposed to be a different show, but then they just put Patrick in it. Because really, the show, if it reminded me of anything, it didn't remind me of SpongeBob, it reminded me of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
huh? Why is
Because his house is like wacky and zany, and there's like he'll have furniture that looks like a big toenail, and then a toenail clipper will come out of the ceiling and clip the toenails off of it, or something like that.
Wait, he doesn't live under a rock?
No, he lives in a wacky funhouse.
What? I think the whole show's got to be Patrick's fever dream or something. I don't know. I don't buy it.
Well, yeah.
Wacky funhouse.
Yeah. When he goes to sleep, his bed is on the ceiling, and then he falls down when he wakes up.
What? Oh, that kind of makes sense, because remember he would get stuck to the top of the rock and then fall whenever SpongeBob wake him up?
Yeah, true. I mean, he hasn't done that in a long time, but...
It is strange. I don't know. I don't know why. Again, it's that we talked about this like to death a million times, that Hollywood's on this weird thing of sequels and reboots, and now cinematic interconnecting universes, and
it's not going to stop anytime soon. Yeah, I think that Space Jam 2, I think that if I watched it later, I might like it more, because to me, Space Jam 2 is the culmination of Hollywood's obsession with making sequels and mixing properties together and stuff like that.
I'm hoping
it's just that with there's no other point to the movie. It's just that. Like,
yeah, because it's like Ready Player One, right?
Superman, and then it'll like hold on them looking at each other for a while, and you're supposed to clap your hands or something.
Which Superman? Henry Cavill Superman, or like the cartoon Superman? What's Superman?
It's cartoon Superman.
That would have been really funny if like Zack Snyder Superman was standing in front of Daffy Duck wearing black, fresh. He's like, I snapped Zod's neck.
If he said I snapped Zod's neck, that would be funny.
That would be really. I know all the Jokers are there, but was Jared Leto's Joker there?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Whoa!
I saw like 4 different Jokers, man. I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm gonna hurt you. Really, really bad. Oh, dude, have you been hearing about the Ayer cut for Suicide Squad? I don't know if it's a meme or if it's real. No. It's getting tweets, and there's an unreleased screenshot from a scene that got cut from the movie. I don't know if it's photoshopped or not, but it's Harley Quinn and Deadshot kissing in the rain. And apparently, after the plane crash, the helicopter crash where Jared Leto's Joker disappears and he doesn't come back for the rest of the movie, he was supposed to die, and then Harley was supposed to wish for him to come back to life from Enchantress, and then Enchantress brings him back and he becomes like a mini boss that they all have to fight.
The Joker does?
Yes, so, at least that's what David Ayer's saying. That's what David Ayer tweeted a screenshot of a previous edit from the screen. He said he wrote the screenplay in 2 weeks. I believe anything at this point.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
After BT, I can believe anything. Also, these rewrites don't make the movie better.
You would write impulsively without thinking about it at all.
I mean, the original draft does not make the movie better. It just makes it stranger. like less fever dreamish and a headache, and more so like what? That's not.
Yeah.
You didn't write that. It's like you didn't write that. Like your little brother snuck into your room and
don't release that.
the haircut. Anything's possible, dude. The Snyder Cut made so much money. The Snyder Cut made so much money. This might happen. But David Ayer's a hack. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't want to say that.
When the Snyder Cut came out, I'm like, this is a slippery fucking slope.
Training
we realize we don't even have to make reboots.
No, we can just release the same movie again.
Yeah, we can just release the same movie again with some extra footage.
Remember when George Lucas would do that and we were all upset, and now everyone's doing it and we're like, of course. We're finally going to see the artistic vision, as if like the audience gave a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Ayer cut. Oh yeah, and apparently the Joker and Deadshot were gonna have this like really intense fight scene because Harley Quinn's falling in love with Deadshot because he respects her and doesn't abuse her, and apparently there are all these cut scenes where Joker like hits Harley Quinn, and apparently Universal is like, no, we don't want the Joker hitting Harley Quinn in the live action series like they did in the cartoons. And I'm like, because I always thought, not that it was weird, but I thought the take they did in Suicide Squad where the Joker liked Harley Quinn or was like afraid of her, and like, you know what I mean? Like he had this weird like thing.
I don't think anything about the character made sense. I could honestly believe that they cut a lot of the Joker stuff just because Jared Leto was like losing his mind in reality.
That did happen.
And it was getting ready to start an island cult.
That did happen. He does have an island cult.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
that's
like,
just.
I would not be surprised if they were like, okay, you're gonna kiss Jared Leto in this movie a lot, and then they're like, you know, maybe not. Maybe he can just do a couple scenes and then go back to his island.
His island. Man, who's the better celebrity cult here, Jared Leto or Tom Cruise?
Well, first off, Tom Cruise is not a cult leader; he's a cult member.
Oh, you're right.
So Jared Leto wins by default.
Shit, you're right. He's just a figurehead. I think I'd be really scared to go on Jared Leto's island.
When I was a kid, I watched the Tom Cruise kills Oprah meme like a lot. And I watched a YouTube video about like the history of it and like the backstory to it, where like that was his first appearance in like the public eye since he became a Scientologist. And I was like, whoa, that's weird.
According to a Scientologist defector, it caused a lot of controversy within the Scientology community because apparently it's against the rules to publicly display emotion. That's viewed as unbecoming. Again, this is her words. Now, I'm not a Scientology expert. All I know about Scientology is like a trailer from a documentary debunking how it's a pyramid scheme and that woman's testimony.
Yeah, Scientology is pretty fucked up. I've seen a couple documentaries on it.
I was thinking about it. I'm like,
great.
I was like, what if Skippy was a show and I hired Tom Cruise to play one of my characters, and I pull him aside, I'm like, hey Tom, please don't sue me, but are they blackmailing you, my guy? Like, are you fucked? Like, is that what this is?
No,
they got like some dirt on.
Completely brainwashed, man.
You think he's like? You think he's into it? If he wanted
help, he could get it.
I think he's too deep in it, man. Like, I think they have access to like his bank accounts and shit.
Say, but like, you know, the whole thing with a cult is that they brainwash their members, right? That's the whole point. They have the charismatic leader who people feel like they have no power to speak against.
I guess so. Poor Tom. I feel bad for him.
It is a shame. It is a shame.
I feel like he. I feel like he was.
A lot of people get exploited and taken advantage of. Even people like Tom Cruise.
I feel like he was at a point in his life, because people are like, how could you be so stupid to fall for something like that? I think he was having like an excess, like everyone who's in a cult, they're looking for something,
yeah, he
looking
had to
for
have been, like, super vulnerable for that.
Yeah, he was probably like going through an existential crisis. He probably didn't like grow up in like a really good community, and being a celebrity, you're kind of isolated. So you're in this thing with a bunch of rich people who are like, oh yeah, we understand what it's like to be rich, and there's all these C and B listers, and they're like, oh, we know what celebrities like, and it's like, hey, we believe in this higher thing, come join us, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I also feel bad for him. I think it is a shame. It is a shame.
Him and John Travolta are Omega level 6s. They have some title where they apparently, according to the rules, have the license to kill and be not only instantly forgiven for murder, but anyone below their rank is obligated to cover up said murder.
Oh, that's cool.
But obviously we've never seen that in practice, but it's written down somewhere that's something they can do.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And, the whole Xeno thing, right? See, the Xeno thing, obviously because the dude was a science fiction writer, right? But when I hear the Xeno thing, I think of, like, the Church of the Giant Spaghetti Monster, and thinking about how that's, like, a parody on religion. And I think about it, and I'm like, maybe the Xeno is just, like, a parody on reincarnation and, like, past lives and Hinduism. Like, maybe Scientology is, like, a metaphor. Kind of like how Satanism...
It's evolved past that at this point. Now it's a real thing that hurts a lot of people.
Did I tell you how they own 90% of the real estate in LA?
Yeah. I think that might be an outdated statistic, but I'm not sure.
I
know that they've been losing a lot of their influence over the last...
Well, see, the thing about it was they have the smallest amount of member pool they've ever had, which is like, they used to have millions, and now they're down to like 10,000 people, which is kind of small for an institution of religion. And but they have a lot of property and a lot of money, and that kind of like makes up for like the lack of members.
Yeah, it's because they have their tax exemption.
That too.
They don't have to pay taxes for any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's a really fucked up pyramid scheme. There's nothing wrong with forming a religion and building a community of like common interests and like,
I think as long as you're doing something,
but
it's all about what your intentions are, really.
Clearly the intention was to get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And anyone who says anything otherwise is lying.
Yeah. It's an ugly thing. It's not nice. It's not. This stream has been really heavy. This stream.
I don't know. We had some goofy moments. We talked about Lumpy.
We did talk about Lumpy. What do you think, chat? Do you think this stream's been too heavy? Let us know. Let us know in the comments below.
Please, stream. Please. Help me.
Oh, you got a pretty good high score at one point.
Yeah, dude.
I wasn't even looking, man.
Because I'm great at Galaga, bro.
You should have told me. You should have been like, whoa, look at this new high score I'm getting, Sam. I'm killing it.
I think we were deep in talking about the Jared Leto Island, which is more interesting to me than my high score.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. I don't know if I even really want to know what Jared Leto Island is like.
I kind of want to go. Just for like
let's go for
3 days.
A 2-week vacation.
No, I can't do 2 weeks. It's gotta be like 2 or 3 days. Like the free brunch and the LSD and him groping me in a bathroom. That's as far as I'll go. Him saying I gotta reduce your chakras, and he starts taking my pants off. I'm like, Jared, I don't like this. And then he's like,
I'll go with you.
Then he'll start talking like the Joker, and I'll start giggling, but then he's gonna start I hate the part where he's just like, what was that quote? Harley Quinn. the itch in my crotch.
Yeah.
This honka honka.
Honka honka.
Why did that happen?
Because he was actually losing his mind.
He said, I have a shag rug and I have a bearskin rug and some wine on ice at home.
Man.
Surrender becomes surrender.
That was Keith Ledger Joker, right?
Yeah.
He had that to live up to, and he did that.
How much is it Jared's fault or Ayer's bad writing?
Oh no, it's Jared's fault.
You think it's Jared's fault?
It would have been less. It wouldn't have been good if he was just like faithful to the script.
I also blame the makeup department that was like, yeah, Jared, do whatever you want. Gave him like this haircut razor and he immediately shaves his eyebrows off, and then no one was like, dude, what are you doing?
That's not what happened.
No, I think I made you watch the director's cut, the behind the scenes. That happened. That was part of it. Jared was in like the makeup room and they're like, yeah, like here's a bunch of costumes, we got some purple and green stuff, and just go crazy. We want the Joker to be random, but also like we want it to be your Joker, you know, we don't want to like dictate how he looks. So we're kind of giving you creative freedom here, Jared. And he's like, okay, cool. So shaving his eyebrows off, and the guy in the background just looks very uncomfortable.
Why would you make the actor the makeup artist? That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I guess it's like, hey, let's try it and see what happens. Sure, but it's like one of those Boyhood things where it's like we tried it, we saw what happened, it didn't work.
Boyhood. This is the third stream we talked about Boyhood.
I need to watch Boyhood again. That's obvious.
I don't think we need to rewatch Boyhood.
No, we do. I keep talking about it. It means I need to watch it again.
The only scene from Boyhood that I liked was the scene where he's walking in the park with his dad, and he's like, Dad, did you see The Dark Knight? It's cool. And I'm like, they're in 2011.
I like The Dark Knight. I watched The Dark Knight with my one of my family members who had never seen it before.
Whoa.
And it was pretty exciting. I think I had way more fun than she did, though.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's like one of those like exchange
people
students.
Were talking a lot, so she missed some stuff, and she was like, "Wait, why did this happen?" And I was like, "I don't know."
There is a lot of talking in Nolan movies.
Well, a lot of people were talking in the room. I mean, like there was a lot of family there.
Dark Knight, pretty good movie.
It's a great movie. Maybe one of my favorite movies.
I just remember when it would be like, it was really controversial at the time. That was like when I got into like getting critical about movies and watching movie reviews. Because like, I remember, like I knew this one kid in high school, he's like, oh, The Dark Knight sucked. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, we later became friends, but I was just like, how the fuck can you say that? You're just a contrarian. You can't say The Dark Knight sucked. He's like, it was bullshit and contrarian.
Is he not just a contrarian?
Well, the main consensus was that it wasn't a Batman movie, it was a Joker movie. The other thing was like, oh, the Joker
movie.
They said, oh, the Joker isn't really the Joker. He's like a guy philosophically describing what the Joker is rather than being the Joker. And I'm like, this is an adaptation.
What does that mean?
It means they wanted Mark Hamill Joker, where he's just making dark, sociopathic jokes as he kills people.
The Joker changes every 50 issues because they change writers and artists all the time. I don't know. I thought he felt like the Joker to me.
I like the domestic terrorist take on the Joker. I really liked that interrogation scene where he's like, "Hi, Brian, are you the real Batman?" No. Then why do you dress up like him? That shit scared the shit out of me in the theaters.
Yeah, he's really scary. He's way scarier than I remembered. That's probably my main takeaway from rewatching it. I forgot how scary it is. Scary movie. Yeah.
I like how in the beginning, Batman and Gordon and all of them are ignoring the Joker. They're like, oh, he's just some punk. Some weirdo. We'll arrest him later. And then that video happens and he hangs that guy and they're like, oh god. What have we done? We should not have ignored this guy.
Yeah, and I mean, like, at the time it came out, domestic terrorism was the thing that people were afraid of more than anything.
Oh, also the main complaint was how like it's like the Joker's like, oh, do I look like a guy with a plan? It's like for a guy who doesn't have a plan, he sure has a lot of perfectly meticulous plans that he executes perfectly in that movie.
Well,
and
that's being stupid at that point.
Oh no, he was obviously lying. He was obviously lying.
Yeah, and also he's obviously lying. Yeah, yeah, shit like that is not like film analysis. That's just being a dickhead.
You're getting a little upset, Sam. It's just a movie.
I am. I hate when people do that.
I'm telling you, that was like it was in 2011. Like making like videos saying, you know, I think The Dark Knight wasn't that great. It was a big thing on YouTube at the time.
You always get views by saying the new hot thing is not actually that good. We should do that to get more views. What's the new hot thing, Emeka?
Well, Space Jam 2. What else just came out?
Everyone hates that. We'd have to say it's good, and I can't muster up that kind of.
Gotta say the Snyder Cut is bad. What came out recent? Like,
I think the Snyder Cut is bad, but I'd have to finish it to really say that.
Okay, spoilers, dude. Martian Manhunter shows up.
That's cool.
It was really cool. I lost my shit when that happened. I was like, Martian Manhunter! Zach, you're a god! Yeah, that movie was...
Widow?
No. Apparently Scarlett Johansson's suing Disney. Well, I knew it was going to be okay. I knew it was going to be okay a year ago when I saw the trailer. I wasn't excited for it. And then they kept postponing it, and they just released it on Disney Plus 2 years too late. And I was like, why didn't they just release it when Mulan came out?
I don't know.
At least when that happened, it was, whoa, what are these green guys? I've never got this far. What? You saw those green guys, right? Like, what were they?
I didn't see them.
Oh, they were like these green plane guys. I've never gone this far in Galaga before. I didn't know there were other enemies I haven't encountered yet. This is uncharted territory. I feel like Christopher Columbus right now.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think I can say Christopher Columbus on stream.
Like Christopher Columbus. Shit, dude. Careful, man.
I think I could say Christopher Columbus.
Green guys again.
These green guys. Those stupid greeners.
Whoa, dude. Calm down. Dude, they're going fast.
Yeah, they're going really fast. But they're bugs and they need to be squashed.
Ew, yucky.
Ah, they're shooting at me. Too many shots are being fired at me. I need a 1-up and I can, like, beat my old high score. Come on.
You know, today,
the green guys! The green guys! I killed them! 2,000 points! The green guys!
2,000 points!
Yeah! I'm so good at Galaga! I'm so good at Galaga, baby!
You're so close to high score, dude.
Because I'm the best at this! I'm the best at
Don't choke, dude. Don't choke.
I'm not gonna choke because I'm the best at Galaga, baby! 800! Let's go! Stage 10. Look at my galactic medal thing! I'm a captain, or I'm a Captain Falcon, or I'm a god! I'm a commander captain! Commander! Major, the major god, spaceman, the space cowboy. Fuck! Wait, I did it! I beat my old high score!
You did it. New PB.
Yeah!
Nice. Skippy.